Yo, what's up? It's your boy Nighttime B. Um, I'm just gonna kind of try to give everybody a recap now. I don't know when Forrest is gonna upload the video. It also might be kind of hard to hear me in that, so I'm just gonna give a recap now. I'm taking a break from playing Baldur's Gate 3 so everybody can hear everything that I kind of had to say about their team who wasn't here. So it'll probably be a little bit quicker than normal or longer than normal if I just can't help myself. But here we go. Starting off with pick number one, Nick Volanich. So with Nick's team, I like Justin Jefferson at the one. I like Jalen Hurts and Garrett Wilson right here at the turn. Jonathan Taylor's on the pup list, so he's not going to play right away. Cam Akers, I really don't believe in, even though he should be the guy. He was in the doghouse last year. Kyle Pitts is a gamble, but I do think he's uber talented. Lockett's cool, third receiver. I think Bieniemy's going to have Gibson get more work than he did last year with Brian Robinson. That's a gamble. Hate that pick. Good pick. Hate that pick. Kicker. Fine. Hate it. Cool. I like the top half of Nick's draft, but I just don't see a scenario where his running backs work out completely. I think there were other guys who had better upside to them. I guess if Jonathan Taylor comes back and he's Jonathan Taylor, Nick's draft is actually pretty sweet, but um, I think there's he didn't get enough value in the later rounds, but at the same time, I can't really assuming Jonathan Taylor comes back. Those first four picks unimpeachable. Really like them. So solid team. Next up, we got Scott. Um, Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, great. I like Jalen Waddle. You had Travis Etienne last year, so you know what he's going to do. Hopefully he gets more third down work because he kind of wasn't last year. It was Jermichael Hasty. And then I think this year's the Tank Bixby guy who's going to get a lot of work. So he needs to get back on that third down work and receiving back train. Kittle's good. I would not have done this. I would have not taken Kittle and Debo. I think that Kittle is going to have a good year because Brock Purdy likes throwing to him. Debo might suffer a little bit of the 3 or the 4 big targets in San Francisco. But Pickens is awesome. That he's a baller. Great. He needs to learn how to separate more, but he's great. Aaron Rodgers, where you got him, is fine. I don't know if I would have been confident enough to take him there, but that's fine. He's going to get goal line work, so that's cool. Fourth wide receiver, that's fine, but he's risky. I don't know what LBJ is going to look like. Atlanta's going to use a committee, so he's still going to be good, even though I love Bijan. He's going to get touches. He's been really explosive in preseason. I think that they like Rashee Rice in Kansas City. I saw something about that, so that's kind of cool. Kenny Pickett is good backup. I really like him as a backup. He could really pop this year. Washington D is great there. That's awesome. I've seen Washington's D listed number 1 on some boards, so that's awesome where you got him. And then Graham Gano. Yeah, Sleeper doesn't force you to fill out your roster, so you didn't have to do that. But again, I think you did the right thing with the picks you got, so that's fine. I really like your draft. I think I like it more than when I did it during the actual draft. Andy. Austin Eckler, I just don't believe in him personally, but that's a good pick. Allen's a good pick. Olave is a good pick. Cooper in the 4th is good. I don't love Keenan Allen. I think that he's going to be the one who doesn't really eat anymore in that offense just because I think they're going to open it up, push it downfield more, and he's not going to be the guy who can run downfield because he's old. Pacheco, he's just not going to get the receiving back work, and they throw it at the goal line, so I don't think Pacheco's going to be good enough, but it's a gamble. I actually like Rachaad White a little bit more. I like Charbonnet a little bit more. They're going to get better opportunities. Cooks I like more than Keenan Allen. I think that if you just switch those, that's fine. Elijah Moore, homer pick, but that's fine. Like that. Good D. He might pop. That's actually good value where you got Dolchich. My boy Young Ho. What up, though? Zach Moss. No, it's not Zach Moss season. Anyway, Andy, that's actually pretty solid. I'm liking a lot of these teams a little bit more than I thought when we did the initial draft. So this is the nice version of it. Forrest, who hasn't uploaded the draft recap yet. All right, Forrest, I like Bijan. Love Bijan. I was really hoping he would fall to me at 6, but this league loves running backs. Hate Najee. Hate it. He's slow. He doesn't have great vision. He doesn't get the receiving back work. Like Jaylen Warren looks way more explosive. He looks better every time he gets the ball. Just really don't like Najee, and I say that as somebody who had him in one of my leagues last year. T. Shirtigans is cool. Justin Herbert there is good. He's old. I do not believe in DeAndre Hopkins. I understand like that's drafted in the name, but even if he's the number one in Tennessee, I'm not a big fan. If we were a PPR league, it might be different, but he really cannot get much like he's got the same issues as Keenan Allen. Let's put it that way. Dalvin Cook again, drafting a name. He might be one of the primary backs for the Jets for a while in the beginning while Breece Hall recovers, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Let's see what you're at your flex. Mike Evans, I guess, but I'm not huge on the Tampa Bay wide receivers. Njoku's fine. Tucker's great. Tua's your backup is pretty cool. That's actually a really savvy pick. I know you did it by accident, but that's still good. It counts. Didn't need a backup tight end, but that's fine. I like Jerick McKinnon there. Yeah, whatever. Dante Foreman, I don't really believe in that. Miami D could be nice, especially when Jalen Ramsey comes back. And Jonathan Mingo's cool. Forrest, that's a pretty solid draft. You have some picks I do not like at the top, but solid draft. See Jeffs. I really like Nick Chubb. I'm not huge on Devontae Adams. I don't believe he's quarterback proof, and I just don't like the situation right now in Las Vegas. If Aiden O'Connell takes over for Jimmy Garoppolo, I like him a little bit more. Jimmy just doesn't push the ball downfield enough for me. But, hey, Devontae is a beast, so I'm not going to sit here and say that's a bad pick. Mark Andrews is good. Lamar Jackson is good. Really don't like James Conner. Even if he's the workhorse back, that team's going to be so bad. And I just really don't like what's going on in Arizona. They're tanking in a very obvious way, and the running back is not going to be the guy who survives. James Conner is old and slow. When he's produced well, it's been great touchdown luck. And that team ain't going to score touchdowns. Don't like that as your RB2. Like Mike Williams, he could have a big year with the new offense. Like Christian Kirk, just because of his time with Trevor Lawrence, could be better than Calvin Ridley, even if Ridley's the better receiver. Jamal Williams will give you a couple good starts. I think that he actually might be a little bit better than Kamara in New Orleans. So at least you got that to start off with. Like Jahan Dotson, like Burks, see what he gets going. Like Bigsby, for the same reasons that I said. I don't know if Etienne's going to get that third down work. Like Chase Brown, like Tyler Boyd, fine. Irv Smith Jr. is your backup, fine. So it's pretty solid. You only really have one pick that I disagree with, and I think the picks you have after that made up for it. So let's do mine. Jamar Chase falling that far, I had to take him. Like, I know running backs are so rare, but Jamar Chase at 6, this could be the year he pops off. He had a really good year last year, and he missed 4 games. He could absolutely explode this year. That's what I'm banking on. Cooper Cup of Coffee, if he comes back healthy, that's an incredible tandem, but he's got to be healthy. I know it's a risk. Had to take him. Jahmyr Gibbs, again, they drafted him, first-round pick. They are going to use him. He's getting used. I don't know if he's going to be great. He's getting used. Betting on J.K. Dobbins' season, but whatever. Justin Fields was great for me last year. His weapons are way better in Chicago. They're going to be a better offensive team. They might be horrific defensively, but that just means he's going to get more opportunities. Again, I really think Brandon Ayuk is going to pop more than Deebo Samuel this year. I just think he's an overall better wide receiver, even if Deebo is more versatile because of what he gives you out of the backfield. James Cook, he's kind of the guy left in Buffalo. I don't love him either, but I got 3 starting running backs that should get the majority of the work. The teams believe in them. They're young. They should get those opportunities. Jackson Smith and Jigba, I like that pick. Again, I'm saying I like all my picks, but whatever. Jackson Smith and Jigba, uber talented in the slot. I think he could produce better than DK, but we'll have to see. Young wide receivers are just crazy. Dalton Kincaid's a bit of a risk right here, but I do think they're going to use him as a slot wide receiver more than they might use him as a blocking tight end because he really can't block. Dallas D could pop off this year, obviously. Geno is my backup. Romeo Dubs, we'll see what happens. Roshan Johnson, people are high on him. I love Khalil Herbert, though, so this is just me going off what other people say. Gallup in Dallas, whatever. Tajay Spears is if Derrick Henry dies. Brandon McManus. So I'm a big fan of my team for the most part. I get why people might not believe in my running backs, but that is as safe as it gets. It's trying to get guys who are starters, who don't know who their backups are, and you know that they're going to get opportunities. Well, Montgomery backs up Gibbs in Detroit, but still, you understand what I went with and how I got there, and that if my wide receivers come together and even one running back gives me solid production, I'm up on my team. I'm high on my team this year. All right, Jonja, let's go. I know you have auto-drafted this, Jonja, but I'm still going to just say what I think of some of those picks anyway. So, King Henry, as long as he doesn't die, it's fine, but he's got a lot of mileage. CD is a good pick. Trevor Lawrence in the third is really high, but I was waiting on him, so I have to say that's still a good pick. You just got him at cost rather than great value. Might lose some carries to Zach Charbonnet, but I think he is talented. But that offense is just going to pass, so this is tough. I like DJ Moore. I like Drake London well enough, considering he's your third wide receiver. I don't like Chris Godwin. I don't think Baker's going to operate well with him, but whatever. Evan Ingram is a good pick. I really like that, actually. Philly D. They are not going to get 70 sacks again, I say as a Philly fan. Tony is whatever. He's probably going to get hurt. That's just the truth. And the ball's going to get spread out in Kansas City. Anthony Richardson as their backup is awesome. Dalton Schultz I like. Harrison Butker, Rashad Bateman, and two people who I literally do not know who they are. So overall, John Jay, your team's actually pretty nice. I don't have a ton of problems with it. It's that Kenneth Walker one I'm a little worried about. But if you don't have crazy injuries, you should be able to survive pretty well for your first year. So this will be fun. Next up is Paul. Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are great game-breaking players. I do worry about Tua's health and the quarterback situation in Miami, but I'm not going to sit here and say those are bad picks. I think those are great picks. Ramondre Stevenson, I had him last year. Paul picked him up when I dropped him. I like where he is. He might lose some goal line carries to Zeke is the issue. Love Breece Hall. I drafted him last year. He just needs to get healthy. It's spooky because he got hurt in the middle of the year with the ACL, and it's just I don't know how fast he's going to recover. It sucks. I don't like Alvin Kamara. Don't love Miles Sanders. As somebody who watched him a lot in Philly, he doesn't have receiving upside because he can't catch the ball. He sometimes has a fumbling problem, just doesn't hang on to the ball. And he produced behind a great offensive line in Philly. I don't know if he's going to get the same opportunities in Carolina, but he is working with Frank Reich, who was a coach formerly in Philadelphia. So he knows how to use Miles Sanders. So it's not as bad as I'm saying. This is just as a Philly fan, I got a lot of opinions about him. Like him as a guy, though. Really cool, talented. Khalil Herbert, I love. Paul, you're a Bears fan. You know Khalil Herbert was great when they gave him limited opportunities last season. Don't know why they think Roshan Johnson's going to take his job. Pat Freiermuth, good value. Zay Flowers, I love that value there. I think he's going to pop in Baltimore. Sky Moore is fine. I don't know if he's finished product. Daniel Jones is your starter. It's fucking wild. Love Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins is actually going to be very fantasy relevant. That is an awesome pick. He's going to be the wide receiver 1 in Houston. They're going to be losing games. They're going to be chucking the ball. I think he's a decent wide. That's great value. Love it, love it, love it. Don't care about Marvin Mims Jr. Evan Hull, don't know who that is. Derek Carr's your backup. Kareem Hunt, you already dropped. So, Paul, once again, I just don't. You did something where you tried to get as much value as possible with your running backs. I just don't know if it's going to pop off with all those guys. I don't love any of them. Khalil Herbert, if he works out, and then if Breece Ball is healthy, you'll be fine. But I get what you did, just not a huge fan of it. Anyway, on to Josh. Monopoly of the tight end position. You should dominate that. Nothing else needs to be said. Like Josh Jacobs, not huge on Aaron Jones. He kind of didn't get the touchdown production last year, and I don't know what Green Bay's offense is going to be. They might just let it fly with fucking Jordan Love. Like Joe Burr, like Scary Terry, Bieniemy's going to open up that offense. I don't think you can run Watson and Jones together. I don't know if they can continue to have good games, but whatever. David Montgomery's going to get opportunities. He's talented, so he'll steal some carries from my guy Gibbs, but he won't be the guy. He will get chances, though. Again, do not believe in Arizona's offense, even though Marquise Brown is good. Like P-Ron, he's going to definitely get a chance to do some stuff early on in Denver. Damian Harris, I don't know what his role is going to be in Buffalo, but he'll be there, so it's fine. He'll get some work. Cole Kmet is your backup, so that's fine. Brock Purdy is a hilarious backup because he will work, but that's a funny backup to draft. Jets D should be solid once again. Daniel Carlson, Darnell Mooney, Zay Jones. I still don't believe in Darnell Mooney, but he's got less pressure on him now with more weapons in Chicago. So, Josh, I think your draft for the most part is fine. You kind of got some questionable pairings here. I mean, you drafted in an offense that I didn't like. A little weak, but I'm not going to kill you over that at all. I don't hate any of these drafts so far. I kind of like Jonja's team. And honestly, I really like my own. And I don't say that every year. Sometimes I don't really like my team. It's really questionable. But I really like my team this year. We'll see if it works out. Who knows? Marchie. Saquon Barkley, I like. Tony Pollard, I like. That's a great running back tandem. I think that's as good as it gets for anybody with the first two running backs as I'm kind of glancing over it. So I think you got two guys I would bet big on at the beginning. Love Smitty this year. He had a great year last year. He could really pop out even more. Hawkinson force kind of wild to me. I am not on TJ Hawkinson like that. He's talented, signed a big contract. I'm not on him like that. Rain Dakota Prescott's a good pick there. I'm not huge on Jerry Jeudy, honestly. I am also not huge on Deontay Johnson, but Kenny Pickett's going to be better, and Deontay Johnson is talented. I just like Pickens more, so Jeudy is one of those two. I don't have anything nice to say about Jeudy. He's just never really produced, even though he was a high draft pick. I believe in Deontay Johnson more. So of those, your three receivers, I like one. I'm okay with the other one. Don't like the other. A.J. Dillon, we'll see. Maybe he takes over this year. He really didn't produce like I thought he would last year, but I think he's talented enough to do it. I don't know if it's going to pop. Great, fine backup. I don't know what's going to happen with him. He's got his gambling suspension. He's still fast. He's just old. Jacoby Myers, whatever. Mike Gesicki is also fine. Yeah. I was about to love your draft after those first three picks, Marchie. Really, I was. But then I looked at those wide receivers after that and some of the other depth stuff, and I'm like, so I'm not as huge on it. But again, I think your running back situation with those first two picks is dope, and I'm a big Smitty fan, so. Ryan, let's see what you got. Stephon Diggs is good. I like Patrick Mahomes II. Easily good. Not a big fan of Dameon Pierce, I got to say. I'm not. Apparently, the advanced metrics say he really was not successful running the ball last year, and he kind of just managed to produce against the stats, but things come back to the mean. So we'll see what happens. That's tough. That's tough because I'm not a big fan of most of your running backs. That's tough. I like DK. That's fine right there. He just might. I don't know what his year is going to be like. There's a lot of mouths to feed in Seattle. Like Dallas Goedert, he's super talented, and he got hurt last year and still produced well. This right here, as a Philly fan, is going to be a pure committee. Rashad Penny might be the better runner. Swift might get the most work, and they're going to use Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott. That's tough. They might all be unstartable because it's such a committee, and you're just going to have to get lucky. All right, Michael Pittman Jr., that's fine. Elijah Mitchell, that's fine. Especially if McCaffrey hurts, that turns into great. I like Quentin Johnston. That's fine. Good backup. Baltimore D, Okonkwo, Hubbard, Hyatt. That's kind of a fun pick there, Hyatt. He's got game-breaking potential, and the Giants do not have a true wide receiver, a true number one wide receiver. They're going to use Darren Waller as their sort of primary pass catcher. So Hyatt has an opportunity to kind of step into a role because nobody's filling it. Doesn't mean he will, but that's like a interesting little thing you did there. I'm not loving this overall for you though, Ryan. The running back room is rough in my opinion. I think the names all sound good. I do not think that they project to produce well. But again, shit goes haywire, stuff happens. People like Dameon Pierce last year, so while people are low on him this year, fuck them. I don't want to be too hard on you, Ryan, but that's probably my least favorite one right now. All right, then Mark. Like A.J. Brown, I'm not huge on Joe Mixon this year. I really think that Chase Brown kid might get some opportunities. I feel like the Bengals want to move on from him, and the fact that they didn't is super weird. Calvin Ridley, I like chemistry with Trevor Lawrence is going to be the thing, but I do like the pick. I like Madison as the guy. He's not going to be a superstar, but he's going to be their solid starter. He's been a solid player for them for a while with Dalvin Cook's injuries. I like, again, Waller's going to be their number one receiver. He might put up wide receiver numbers. I really like Waller. Javonte Williams needs to get healthy. We'll see what Denver's offense is going to be like under Sean Payton. I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about Addison, honestly. I know they talked about him coming out and stepping in and being that wide receiver across from Justin Jefferson. We'll see. Brian Robinson, I think he's going to lose some touches this year with the enemy calling the offense now. Disgusting. We hate you for this pick. Picking fucking Deshaun Watson. Gross. It's fucking gross. Gabe Davis is okay. That's fine. He'll do something occasionally. Like Jaylen Warren, again, I think he might start stealing carries from Najee if they don't like what Najee does. I like Jaylen Warren. That could be something. Russ, your quarterback situation is stupid, Mark. Nobody. Horrible. Jake Elliott, Kenny Gainwell, Green Bay D. Juwan Johnson. Mark, I have never seen somebody in our league fumble the quarterback spot like this. And Paul drafted Daniel Jones as his starter, and I'm looking at yours, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. So anyway, that's kind of everything that I thought. I got about 10 minutes shorter than when we did this with at the draft, so I was a little bit shorter. But as you guys know, I like talking about this and doing it for you guys. I assume you guys like seeing it because you keep asking for it. Anyway, I'm probably going to play a little bit more Baldur's Gate, take care of Etta when she inevitably wakes up, make her bottles, go to bed, and go be a lawyer tomorrow. Till then, everybody, enjoy yourselves.